Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to talk about the new DLC for Borderlands 4, How Rush Saved Mercenary Day. I played it, in fact, I played it twice, and here are my thoughts on this brand new DLC. And there's no easy way to say it, but guys, this DLC freaking, it's okay. It wasn't bad. I honestly thought it was going to be horrible, but nah, it was a decent little chunk of content that wasn't that bad. Sorry for those who want to hear me say it sucked, but it didn't. Also, gotta say it, not sponsored. Here are my honest thoughts. To really dumb it down comparatively to a Borderlands 2 Headhunter pack, it is about the same exact length, maybe even a little bit longer, to play through the content. For my very first playthrough on it, I was listening to the music, enjoying the map scenery, looking around in all the nooks and crannies and whatnot. And on that very first run, it took me about 1 hour to beat it. But the second time I ran it, I ran straight through it, I went straight to the objectives, and it took about 25 minutes. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, what is this, a Wonderlands PLC? 25 minutes for 10 bucks? Nuh-uh, dude. Rip off. Well, they actually made this DLC free, so you don't pay a dime for it. And to be perfectly fair, comparing it to a Borderlands 2 Headhunter, I mean, that's really the only thing we can really compare it to. You can speedrun any of the Headhunters in like 10 minutes. I'm not joking. Pick up the story mission in any Borderlands 2 Headhunter, run straight to the objectives, like 10-15 minutes. And then this comparison's not really fair, but if you rocket jump, you could beat like the Hollow DLC in BL2 in like 7 minutes. But that's way different. That's like glitching through and stuff. Yeah, we're not doing that. So I would say size-wise, it's about the same, if not a little bit longer than a Borderlands 2 Headhunter. Which brings me to my next point, the dialogue. In the Rush Mercenary Day DLC, they don't hold you hostage for that long in the DLC. At max, you're standing around for maybe like 10-15 seconds for a chunk of dialogue, and then you can proceed on while the dialogue's still talking. Now, just a heads up, I'm gonna go into spoilers, so if you don't want to hear them, you have been warned. But in this DLC, there are points where like Claptrap's talking or actually singing, and guess what? While he's singing, you can proceed on to the next objective. You're not being held hostage. And comparatively, it's, you know, the same waiting around you do in like Borderlands 2 Headhunters. You stand there for like 10-15 seconds max, and then you proceed on. Also, sorry for bringing up Borderlands 2 Headhunters as a comparison so much. I just want to make sure it's clear that they are very similar, and there's no bias towards Borderlands 2 better, and it's like, why? I can't tell you why. It's nostalgia, you know, like, there are people out there that, you know, have that mindset, and I'm trying to not have it myself. But yeah, anyways, back to the Rush DLC. Let's jump around a little bit and talk about my couple of complaints. This DLC is not perfect at all. I mean, no DLC really is. There's gonna be some flaws here and there. The villain in this DLC, Minister Screw, he is unbearable. He is annoying. He's whining in the background like, yeah, you know, like he's a spoiled little brat, basically.
Merc Day presents, many of them.
They're mine! All presents belong to me!
I thought you said these gifts were blasphemy.
Shut up! My presents! Mine! All mine!
He's cringe, he makes a lot of daddy jokes, and yeah, he's not a good villain, which is why, like, you have that mindset of like, this guy sucks, I want to kill him right now. So, I mean, technically feeding that energy into the boss to, you know, want to kill him kind of worked in this situation, but again, he's not a good villain. He's not, you know, matched to Jack or any other great villains out there. He is not a masterpiece. He's at the bottom of the barrel. I will say though, Minister Screw, even though his dialogue sucks, he doesn't kill the whole vibe of the DLC and make it unfun. He's just that annoying voice here and there while you're playing your good part of the DLC. As for the other negative thing, that's going to be the Order enemies. We fought them to death in the base game, and sure enough, it's all the enemies in this DLC again. So you don't get to experience new combat, new mechanics. It's the same Order mobbing. As for the third negative thing, I was actually going in with the mindset of this is going to be a reskin bunker. I'm going to hate it. It's just going to be very lazily inspired. But the reskin bunker was actually so different that I forgot I was in a bunker. What I'm saying is they pulled it off. When I was inside Minister Screw's like compound, I didn't have that mindset of, oh, I saw this area in the base game. Oh, look, the same layout, yay. No, it was way bigger and not claustrophobic like the base game bunkers. And on top of that, there is so much verticality in this DLC, it's kind of insane. And the base game bunker layouts, you're just in these small spaces, not much up and down, just flat floor 1 to other side of floor 1. Long snaking hallways, you know, stuff like that. But this DLC compound pulled it off. It didn't feel like a bunker at all. Like I said before, there's so much verticality, so many winding paths that go to different locations, and really the map was very dynamic. The best example I can give is I was like, you know, deep in the compound doing all the stuff, and then next thing I knew, we were back outside and I looked in the distance, and the beginning of the map was right there in front of me. Like they led me through a snaking maze of like, you know, creative, dynamic patterns, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like I traveled really far in this compound, and the next thing you know, it all connected back up to be near the beginning of the map. In my opinion, that's good map design. Moving on here, there is a really cool addition, which I didn't catch on to until later in the DLC, but along the way, you're gonna find these like gift boxes you can pick up, and then they disappear into a portal, and you don't really think much of it. If anything, it's confusing. You're just sitting in there thinking, what did I just do? But at the very end of the DLC, you get to open all the gift boxes you found along the way. And those gift boxes in the map are randomly generated in different locations. So if you run this DLC for the first time, you might find a box in a corner, but then next time you run it, you don't see it there. It's in a different location. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but you can reset the mission and replay it over and over infinitely. Mission replay, pretty cool. Anyways, back to the box. So once you beat the DLC, you get to shoot open all the boxes you found, and they spew out a decent amount of loot, like actual good loot. So you feel rewarded for exploring the map and finding all the hidden gift boxes. Well, some of them are hidden, and then a lot of them are just like out in the open. You can't miss them. Going back to the mission, there isn't just like, you know, go to area, mob combat, go to next area, mob combat, go to next area, mob those same order combat. They did a good job at giving you different tasks during the mission, such as like stopping a propaganda tower. You have to like shoot it apart, and then there's a part where you have to short circuit the generators using Christmas lights. Later on, you gotta find a power core, which is not really new, but it was something to break up the combat repetition. And so it's not just all like point A, point B mob combat for the whole entire DLC. It was well laid out. Also, I glossed over this, but they did something different for entering the DLC. So, in the base game, you pick up the mission in the Fade Fields at the launch pad. You start the mission delivering gifts in the Fade Fields, and then out of nowhere, the snow weather just randomly pours in. Which I know that weather events aren't that big of a deal, but it did catch me by surprise. So we're in snowy Fade Fields, and then we make our way to the back of a delivery van. And that's the travel point to get into this DLC. Basically, you infiltrated the compound by hiding in a van. Cool. Now, I'm going to take it back to Borderlands 2. When you jump into any headhunter, you have to travel to the map, and then the DLC starts right there. You get the mission, you do your thing, and have your fun. I was honestly a little bit surprised they pushed the DLC to be partially in Kairos, you know, the main part of the game. And then they transition you into the actual brand new map. I think it was well done. Oh, and not to mention, we have an intro cutscene for the DLC, we have a boss card cutscene for the DLC, and we have an outro cutscene for the DLC. And it also included Marcus' narration for some of it. It caught me off guard, and it brought more life into the DLC, and obviously the celebration at the end once you beat the DLC. Now, I know cutscenes are like whatever, once you see them, you skip them for the rest of your days. But I think that it did bring life into the DLC and made it feel more, I guess, real? And it wasn't just a static event happening when you pick up a mission. It was a nice touch. And then finally moving on to the big part of the DLC, the boss fight.
I see you, Vault Hunter. But Daddy, can you see me? Can you see what a good boy I am? Today, I give you the greatest gift of all! A dead Vault Hunter!
The boss fight was mid. It wasn't straight bad, it wasn't exceptional, it was mid. This guy is literally the Timekeeper boss fight and Horus boss fight merged together. And on top of that, we have Donk, which is one of those hammerhead guys. Mechanically, he wasn't really anything new either, but his name was Donk. Good job, K6. You got Donk in the game. But yeah, this boss fight, just normal mechanics from Timekeeper and Horus merged together. In fact, you can see the triangle attack that, like, the Timekeeper does. The only difference is they, like, wreathified it, so there's, like, a wreath around it. Same exact attacks. And then he's got the sight thing that Horus does, too. As for the hammerhead, or bulkhead, that's what they're called. As for the bulkhead guy, he's just a shield guy that's tagging along. Doesn't really add any substance to the boss fight. But yeah, the boss fight itself wasn't bad, just felt reused. And then obviously the guy looks like Horus, except slightly different. It's whatever. Not bad, not good. Mid. You take down the boss, and guess what? They added a refarmable, repeatable boss fight with dedicated drops. I think they get our point now, wanting dedicated drops in the franchise. Keep it that way, please. Don't change the system, don't change the pattern. We like our dedicated drops. Anyways, Donk and the Minister Screw both have 3 dedicated drops. While they share the same pool, they both drop the same 3 dedicated drops. These are all legendaries, and for the most part are pretty decent. The rep kits, whatever, but the 2 guns are fairly good. But yeah, same layout as the base game. You run through the purple bubble, you respawn the boss, jump back down, fight him again. It's a system that works, and I like it. And then at the very end of the DLC, we get something unexpected. Check this out.
I have a friend named Pickle. His jokes had me crying, but what nobody knows is he's secretly a siren. All of this is canon. Wait a minute! Pickle gets to be a siren, but not me?
For you lore heads, I don't know if this is actually canon or if Gearbox is like throwing a story with this. Either way, really funny. It's just a claptrap moment. But hey, we don't know. This is a what if Pickle's a siren. So silly. And that is the DLC in a nutshell. Alright, so let's review. The good. Repeatable mission. Dynamic map with a lot of up and down. Non-monotonous mission objectives, such as, you know, mobbing and picking up things, moving things, destroying things, placing things. Well done. Hidden gift boxes around the map that reward you at the end of the mission. Not too much dialogue and standing around. A good blend of starting in the base game and then working into the DLC through a transitional door. Okay boss fight, not the best, just okay, but it has dedicated farming, which I love. And you get a red chest after your boss fight. The boss fight is repeatable. There's a new super snowy weather pattern. Oh, and I forgot to talk about, I'm not going to go deep into this, but we had the vault card with so many cosmetics and 4 new weapons. So in total for this DLC, we have 7 new legendary items, 3 from the bosses and 4 from the vault card. And I think that's pretty much all the good stuff. As for the bad stuff, like I said before, the antagonist, Minister Screw, is cringe. The claptrap singing part could be seen as annoying. I mean, I'm used to claptrap, but I feel like for some it could be looked at as a bit too much. And then you're fighting the same order mobs, which is kind of boring. But yeah, I think that's most of what I wanted to talk about for this DLC. Overall, it feels about on par with Borderlands 2 Headhunters, maybe even a bit more. For comparison one more time, BL2 Headhunters cannot be repeated. We didn't have mission reset, right? Every boss in a Borderlands 2 Headhunter did not have dedicated drops. They were just regular, non-unique drops every kill. And the Headhunters in BL2 did not have cutscenes, or even outro cutscenes, intro cutscenes, no cutscenes. So I'm not a fan of ranking things out of 10, I just hate doing that. So really the best comparison I can give you guys is it really does feel like a Borderlands 2 Headhunter, but a little bit more. Not an insane amount more, just a little bit more. One more thing, I should have mentioned this earlier, but the actual story of this DLC, pretty solid. Outside of the cringe from Minister Screw, like the mission was heartfelt, you know, there was a little bit of emotion with Rush and his dad. Surprise, surprise. And it ends in festive holiday cheer. It's not like an insane story, it's just an average story. But it was well stringed together for the hour of gameplay that you have for the DLC. Don't expect a deep heartfelt story, it's just a story. And it wasn't bad. Now, I will say, even though this DLC was okay, it is not going to breathe new life into Borderlands 4 long term. So don't think this DLC is going to bring new life back into the game more than like 2 weeks. I bet you after 2 weeks, this game's going to be dead again. I hate saying that, but we're really just kind of jumping piece of content to piece of content. Until we get actual endgame activities, there's not a whole lot of incentive to stay on the game after you farm the new items from the boss and make your build. Like, there's nothing to take on that's going to be pushing your gear to the limit or anything like that right now. But yeah, anyways, let me know below in the comments what you guys think about this DLC yourself. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know below. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.